Hello friends! Today I will tell you how to create a mystical painting with a ship and a sea monster using acrylic paints. Materials: a sheet of thick A3 paper, acrylic paints, red, black, blue, white, yellow, orange, medium palette knife, thin brush, fan brush. I start with the background. It creates the mood of the whole picture. I use a palette knife to apply red paint at the top of the sheet, stretching it to the center. Then I add blue, smoothly mixing with red to create a transition to dark purple. At the bottom, in deep black, rubbing it a little into the blue. This creates the effect of a sunset or an ominous sky. When the background is dry, I paint the ship with a thin brush. The base of the hull is white paint with light black strokes for depth. Wavy lines along the edges create a sense of movement on the water. For the mast, I use a thin brush, adding a few sails, slightly deforming them, as if they were blown away by the wind. I paint the reflection of light on the sails with yellow and orange. On the deck, I depict a couple of figures, silhouettes of sailors watching the monster. They are small to emphasize the scale of the ship. The sea monster appears on the right. I use black paint to set the basic shape, then add blue and purple shades for depth. The eyes are yellow-orange, as if they are glowing in the dark. With a fan brush, I carefully stretch the strokes, creating the effect of scales. I add chaotic white and gray lines to the water. They emphasize the excitement of the sea. I use a palette knife to make sharp strokes at the bottom, creating the effect of raging waves. In the upper part of the picture, I draw mysterious symbols with black paint. They enhance the mystery of the scene. The final step is to go over the edges of the ship and sails with white paint, highlighting them against the background. Critical assessment of the painting. As an art critic, I see an interesting combination of expression and mysticism in this work, but I also notice some aspects that could be improved. Strong emotional atmosphere. The combination of red, black, and blue creates a sense of anxiety, danger, and inevitability. This is an excellent choice for conveying a dramatic plot. Dynamic composition, the curves of the ship, the raging waves, and the inclined perspective create a sense of movement. The ship is not just sitting on the water, it is drifting into the unknown. Contrast and lighting, the glowing yellow and orange details, reflection on the water, the eyes of the monster, the sails, make the picture come alive. Add depth, artistic stylization. The work is done in an expressive rather than realistic manner, which emphasizes the mystical nature of the plot. Disadvantages and possible improvements. Ship shape. The ship hull looks too simplified, without a sense of volume. More shadows and highlights could be added to give it three-dimensionality. The sailors' figures. They are too schematic, their silhouettes are lost. It would be better to draw at least minimal details, posture, hand position, to convey the character's emotions. Fear, readiness to fight, prayer. The monster, that's the eye and part of the head, are too flat. Adding volume, through chiaroscuro, play of highlights, would make it more impressive. Skin texture could also be added, maybe scales or scars. Background balance. The upper part of the painting, red sky, is too flat compared to the saturated lower part. Perhaps adding clouds or rays of light breaking through the darkness would make the composition more balanced. Water lines. The waves look a bit chaotic in places not aligned with the direction of the ship's movement. Orderly water flows would add realism. What could be added? Details on the ship. Ropes, sail ropes, portholes. They would make the ship more detailed. Textures and highlights on the water. Subtle reflections of the monster or ship would enhance the sense of reality. Sky, perhaps dark silhouettes of birds or distant lightning in the clouds, would enhance the drama. Conclusion. The painting has a powerful energy and conveys the mood well, but the detailing of some elements requires some work. Introducing more volume, textures, and more expressive silhouettes of the characters would make this work even more exciting. This is a work that combines mysticism, drama, and movement. The main thing is not to be afraid to experiment with colors and brushstrokes, conveying the feeling of a living sea.